everybody. Have a seat. Hello. Everybody sit down and let's begin our session for today. What a beautiful day, isn't it? I'm so grateful for everybody's presence online and in person. I always am. I'm always blown away that you all should spend your time with me. So I take it very seriously. So thank you for coming. So how's everybody doing? Doing well? Okay, great. Did you all know that there was a solar eclipse, a partial solar eclipse today? Yes. I think it was around 3 a.m. in the morning. And yes, so all the planets have aligned. So a lot of energy movements, if you all noticed in your life or in your mind, there was a lot of shifts. People went through some stuff. You discover a few things about yourself, about people around you. Or it can be and it can be very spiritually transformative. So it's a beautiful time today that we are meditating. It's actually powerful. The energies are all aligned. And it's almost a reset. If people think about it in the astrological charts, it's almost like a reset, a renewal of your life's journey. So did you guys feel some energy shifts in your life? Really? Yeah. Yeah, I did too. And the mind is a little agitated, and hello. And then it's all come to a head, and here we are. So that's what's going on. I've been thinking about it and reading about it, and very exciting time. There's a lot. If you want to read on it, it's just a lot to read.
How do you know that it's that? We are living in very unsettling times.
Yeah.
I feel emotionally.
Yes.
Anyway, how do you know that it's that and not some? How do you know that it's the aligning of the stars, so to speak, and feeling that energy versus being unsettled about other world events or
Yeah.
even close family events?
Right. And it's both. I mean, this is one of the parts that is adding to whatever is going on. So it's not, it is. It surely is. I mean, I started to feel it a week back, and then it started to escalate for me. But then you have to be open to it,
Right. Yeah.
You have to be open to this idea, to believe it or even understand it. You don't have to believe, but you can understand it. There is a science behind it on how the lunar and the solar eclipses work and how they can. See, we are all connected. Nature, everything is connected. So how everything impacts us. When the moon is in full moon, they say it aggravates the mind, the lunar, those connections are
And
there.
I believe it. I'm a believer,
Yeah.
so I'm not doubting it. For me personally, how do you sense it? Because my father, Luna, in full moon,
Yeah.
he would change. He was a completely different person.
Yes. Yeah.
Also women's menstrual cycle aligns with the moon.
Aligns with the moon. Yeah. Our hormonal cycles align with the moon. So we're all very connected. Anyway, that wasn't the topic, but just
Okay, sorry.
but just an offshoot.
I like the idea.
Yeah, we should be open to everything, curious about life and what's going around us, and just being open. Like Buddha. He was a scientist, and he really is my hero. So, okay. Something you wanted to say?
Oh, Ed can just set the microphone down. I'm
Okay.
muted.
Okay, cool. Got it. Sign language. All right, people. So if you've been coming to these meditations, we're trying to follow a little bit of a journey. We started with the physical layer, the emotional layer, and the cosmic layer. That is our three layers of what we are made up of, our essence. And so we understood why and how we work on our body, the physical layer. We do the mindfulness meditation to soothe our nervous system, to soothe our amygdala. and we know exactly what to do and the science behind it, right? All of us know that. And then we are on this journey. The next stop was the emotional layer. And for that, we understood why we are stuck in primal emotions loop, because if your body is throwing a stress response, then you're also stuck in some primal emotions like fear and anxiety. And it's not your fault. So don't judge yourself for it, because it's just there is a science behind it. You can understand it and then you can work on it. And so we learned not just mindfulness meditation, but we can also do somatic healing meditation. And I hope you guys enjoyed that practice. I think we did it last week. Was it last week? Yeah. It's a powerful practice, guys. So do it as much as you can. I think we're going to publish it by tomorrow, so it should be there and on the channel.
I think we said the same thing last week, but this week for sure.
This time we mean it.
So it's been a busy week. That's all I got to say.
Yes, it's been a little bit intense. I'll just say that because we're online. Offline, we'll talk more. Anyway, so somatic healing meditation was understanding your emotions on your body, but also building an emotional muscle memory for powerful emotions so you can start summoning them and recognizing how they feel, and you can call them at your will. So this is all about self-mastery, understanding how your mind and body work together. So going with this journey, we're still on the emotional layer. You also want to understand or get some kind of freedom or liberation from your negative thoughts. So we talked about the negative emotions last week. Negative thoughts, emotions, all the same thing kind of, because body-mind connection, right? So freedom from negative thoughts. It is possible. It is possible. And we all feel trapped in it. You know, I'm not good enough, or my life is ruined, or what's going to happen, the worrying, the judging, the this and that, the anxiety, the other shoe is going to drop, the sense of doom, the sense of foreboding. We all go through all of this. And then we come back up for air, and then we go drowning again, and then we come back for air. And that's become our life. And so somatic healing meditation helps. But we're still feeling trapped, not but there is another meditation to help you through it, because Gautam Buddha found he faced the same demons. He faced those same demons. And so that is how he set on this path of liberation from your mind. He found that if you liberate yourself, if you conquer your mind, you are an awakened being. And so he set out these amazing wisdom precepts that I want to share with you. So one wisdom principle he had was, and I'm using modern language, of course, I'm not using the Pali times, Pali language. So the first wisdom precept he had was, remember, your thoughts are not reality. They are not facts, and they are not reality about you or the world. So recognize them for what they are. They're not reality. They are not factual about yourself or the world around you. So that should kind of sort of loosen their grip, loosen the negative thoughts' grip. And the second one is reminding yourself that thoughts are a mental phenomena. They are the product of the mind. They're a mental phenomena. They arise in you, they fall in you, and they go away. They're passing through you. So think of yourself like the vast sky. You are the vast sky, and there are these thoughts that come to you. Some of them are light and fluffy clouds, like cloud-like thoughts, and some are dark. But nonetheless, if you notice, none of them stay. they all move away. So there is a sense of impermanence about them. They don't stay. Number one, they don't stay, and they all move. Hi. So thoughts are not reality. Thoughts are not permanent. They come and go. And three, the mindfulness approach. You are not your thoughts. You are an observer of your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. You are an observer. So we've all done that meditation many times, and we've kind of, when you meditate, you sort of start to understand, oh, I'm observing my thoughts. I'm observing my breath. So there is this observer. So I'm not my thoughts. Just like I have my hands or feet, I have thoughts. I have a mind, but I'm not my thoughts. I am not my mind. I am the owner of all of this. They're all coming and going. There is a sense of impermanence about them. And, but they're not real. So that was his third precept. And the fourth is how not to engage with them is he talks about the second arrow principle. Okay, I'll just explain it. The first arrow is something that happens, which is inevitable. You say something, or a circumstance happens, a difficult situation. It is kind of inevitable. That's your first arrow. But the second arrow is the one that you shoot yourself, because you build some negative thoughts around the first arrow. So for example, if I say, which I will not do it, but if I say you're worthless and you feel the initial hurt, but if you just let it go there, then that's it. But you shoot the second arrow yourself. I just shot the first arrow and I moved on to other things. But you shoot the second arrow. Oh, I am worthless. Even she thinks so. And my life is ruined. I'm useless. And then you spiral in those negative patterns. So he told us that the second arrow is optional. And that is the context of pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. That is the context. You guys must have heard that sentence and wondered, wow, that's not cool. But challenges are inevitable in our life. And that is your first arrow. But the second arrow is the one you shoot yourself. And that's what causes suffering. Right? So that is how you cause suffering. And then, of course, I'm going to tell you how to not shoot the second arrow and so forth. We're going to practice that in the meditation. So that is what he said. So the way to do this is first is not to engage in your thought, the negative thought that comes through. Don't engage in it. Don't feed into it. But don't repress it either, because if you repress it, then it's going to come back more toxic and more negative. So you just recognize, oh, a thought about failure is coming. And then realize that it's going to pass. It's not permanent. It's going to come and it's also going to leave you. So don't fight it or don't get engaged in it, because the minute you start to engage in it, you will shoot the second arrow. So that were his principles, Buddha's principles, and how to handle. Well, there are a lot more, but today we'll just discuss these about negative thoughts and freedom from negative thoughts. Now let's understand how we are going to practice. What are the tools available for us? Of course, through meditation, right? The first is you recognize, acknowledge a thought, and you label it. You label it, judging thought. A worrying thought is coming to me. A negative thought. Acknowledge what it is. Give it a quick label if you can. Give it, and we'll practice this in our meditation today. So give it a label. And then second is you question it. How true is it? Is it really valid? Is it factual? Have I always been a failure in my life? So you start to question that thought. And the thought is going to quickly dissolve. The minute you start to question it, it'll see it doesn't have any ground. It's going to run away. So question that thought. And the third is, give yourself kindness. That's what they say. The minute you give yourself kindness, instead of judging yourself for having that thought, because when you judge yourself, you're going to shoot the second arrow. So, the second arrow about having more negative thoughts around it. So instead of judging yourself, you give yourself kindness and compassion. I had that thought, silly me. And then just let it go as much as you can, So that is how you work with these thoughts. So number one is recognizing what the thought is, labeling it, sort of. And then the second is to show kindness and, compassion for it. Does that make sense? I want to give you an example of the second arrow, right? It happened during COVID times with a family. When COVID hit, right? We all had this, we didn't know what was going on. Most of us, the vaccine wasn't there. No, there wasn't much science, and people were so alarmed. And you could go on YouTube and watch how to wash your groceries and all of that stuff that people were doing. And then there was a family in my neighborhood that got struck with COVID just right off the bat. As soon as COVID happened, they got COVID and they didn't know. Now, the parents and the family was a very fit family. They were very into health, and they were already sharing with us what to do, how to get the groceries, how to keep them outside 24 hours, and all of that stuff. They were really our keepers, telling us what to do during these times, and they were the ones who got hit with COVID. And their children too, so the whole family. And they were down for almost 10, 12 days, and there was a lot of fear. The parents shot the second arrow to themselves. The first arrow was the COVID, granted. The second arrow was by the parents, because they started to question, will we ever get well? What will happen to our lungs? How could this happen to us? We were the fittest. We were the healthiest. We were the most careful people. They shot the second arrow on themselves, and they really spiraled, and they went into therapy. They had so much trauma. But their children, they never shot that second arrow. The children never shot the second arrow on themselves. They were playing outside and they would sleep a lot when they were trying to recover. No second arrow. So this is what the second arrow principle means. The first arrow is inevitable. The second arrow is optional. So you have to work on it. Okay? So today's meditation is going to be, we're going to try to observe our thoughts. We're going to try to label them. This is work. We're going to try to label them, what kind of a thought is. And if it is a negative thought, we're going to see if we can question it. And then we are going to give ourselves the compassion. I had this thought, okay, I'm learning about myself, but don't judge yourself. My goodness, you are having these kind of thoughts. What a loser are you, or whatever, that negative self-talk we do. So giving yourself the compassion for that thought that you just had. So this is what self-mastery looks like, and we do it through meditation. If you remember, the meditation model is you understand what you're doing, and then you practice it in your meditation, and then you apply it in your life. So when you practice it, you get to apply. With talking therapy, what happens usually is that there's a lot of talking. Intellectually, you get it. But when it comes time to actually apply it, it's hard, because we are all on autopilot. That's the beauty of meditation. In meditation, you go inward. And if you do it as a repeated practice, you actually are able to apply it in your life. That's the beauty. Therapy takes so much longer, and I'm not saying anything negative about therapy, but along with, if you're doing therapy, or if you're if you have a therapist, that's great, but also keep up with your meditations, because meditation is going to give you the practice you need to actually apply it, right? So, anybody has any questions or insights about freedom from negative thinking? That's the meditation today. How do you guys do this? How do you work through your negative emotions if you have?
Is it on?
Yeah?
You know, it's so funny. I was like, must have read my mind, but I was just thinking that when I hear negative comments or maybe sometimes people don't mean it a certain way, right? But you kind of interpret it a certain way. I've had this visual of like I'm not really a solid person, and so when things come that way, I let it just kind of go through me and past me, and it just that visual. I don't know why it's helped me somehow to kind of not
That's
stay with
great.
the negative emotion. Yeah.
That's great. You're already applying some of the principles.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
I had something similar, but instead of mine passing through me, mine bounced off of me and back toward the source.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, the second arrow is optional. Just remember that. That second arrow is always optional. So don't feed into it. Don't fight it, don't feed into it. And the way to do it is through practicing, number one, recognize labeling it and then questioning it. And knowing that thoughts are not reality. Thoughts are not reality. That's just what you know, what your database is. All the data points coming together and doing some kind of quick data analysis and throwing that thought. It's just so rapid. Yeah.
Are you saying then in a way to intellectualize the thought?
Question it, yes. It is an intellectual byproduct anyways. The thoughts are coming from your mind, right? So question the thought, think through it.
Like, why am I having this thought? Or what's the source of it? Or what am I feeling about it? Or
What is the source? Is it valid? Is it absolutely true all the time that I'm a failure? I've not accomplished anything? Is that right? So that kind of questioning will boil it down to what it is. It's just a mere wisp of a thought cloud. It has no basis. But what happens is we start to believe our thoughts. Like when you get caught up in a rainstorm, right? You get wet, but you know you're not the rain. So yes, that thought can affect you initially. It can give you some pain, but just recognize that you are not that thought. It might not be even true. Probably it's not true. And also it is impermanent. They are not here to stay. They are temporary visitors in your life, in your mind. They're not permanent residents, right?
is the second arrow when it goes from being a thought to moving into storytelling?
Yes. There you go. She said it. Good, Linda. That's great. You started to create a story around it. And then you started to believe in that narrative. And then it just spiraled from there. I forgot one of the principles also of Buddha. He talks about Sangha, community, a lot in Dhammapada, that is about Buddha and his wisdom. It is very important to be in a community, any community that resonates with you. Sharing, community, therapy, all of this is important to help you navigate difficult thoughts. And of course, meditation. I mean, that goes without saying. We are here to meditate. So mindfulness approach, mindfulness meditation gives you that self-awareness to look inside, look at your sensations, look at your, observe your breath, but also observe your thought. What kind of thoughts do I have? Because when you are moving on day-to-day life, you're not aware. You're just applying whatever you're thinking. You're using it as action. But in meditation, you have your thought, but you're not able to get up and do that action, right? So that is when you can notice that thought, observe the thought for what it is. And that's how you start working on yourself. All right.
So so let's say goodbye. Let's say hi to people online. So I've got Purnima, Dr. Anita, Tanika, Glenn, and Sangeeta.
Okay.
And
Hi,
those are the people
everybody.
who spoke up. There's 14 people online, but those are the ones who announced themselves.
Okay, great. So we can begin the meditation. 10:45. All right. Is the sun too much? Good. Good. And that is why the importance of today, I'm a little bit rambling. I'm so sorry. I did not organize my thoughts better. I didn't get much time actually. But anyway, Anyway, the present moment. That is why. So you see mindfulness meditation, why they work the way they work. It soothes your nervous system. It tells you it's okay, calm down. Your body doesn't need to throw that stress response over and over again. B, it brings you in the present moment. Because if you're not in the present moment, that means you have been hijacked by your thoughts. That means you are in that storytelling that Linda just mentioned. You are somewhere where the second arrow has been shot and you are spiraling in that storytelling. But if you were in the present moment, that possibility is eliminated. And so mindfulness meditation helps you stay in the moment. And even when you're not meditating, they say ground yourself. Go do something, some gardening. See, there you go. People who garden, they know that how amazing. They'll never give it up. Never give it up because they are grounding themselves every day. They are in the moment. They are in the present moment. And so you do this kind of grounding or unplug yourself when you're going for a walk. There's no need to listen to so much information. It's time to apply information. I see the world is consuming overwhelming amount of information. And yet, as a society, I don't know where we are. So it's time to apply things. And the best way to apply is to unplug and really be in the moment. The moment is your master. It's going to give you amazing insights. It's going to bring you closer to your higher self. It's going to be wonderful for you. So try to ground yourself and stay in the present moment because that's when you're not shooting the second arrow. And so mindful meditations help you stay in the present moment as well and also make you aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your sensations, your feeling, and so forth. So let's begin this meditation, okay? Yeah. So let's begin by closing our eyes. Just feeling immense gratitude for this beautiful moment in front of us. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Another breath in and out. Just breathing deeply and relaxing. Letting your body know you are safe. just letting go and surrendering to the moment. Letting go, surrendering, accepting the moment as is. Bring your attention to the points of contact between your body and your seat. Feel your feet against the ground. Notice the sensations on your legs, your back, and your body. And now bring your attention to your breath. Is your breath deep or is it shallow? See if you can deepen your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, just observe that and come back to your breath. Staying in the moment. Deepening your breath. Observe the passage of your breath in your body. The gentle movement of your belly and your shoulders. Relaxing in the moment. Bring your full attention to the moment. By observing your breath, you can be in the moment. Notice in this moment, everything is complete. Nothing is missing. Nothing is lacking. As you rest in this moment, you may notice thoughts beginning to arise. Notice how your thoughts appear in this moment and try to pull you away. And you notice you are the awareness behind your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are like the vast open sky, and thoughts are like the clouds. Some wispy, some light, some dark, but all of them temporary. You just observe them. As you observe your thoughts, see if you can label some of them. The labels could be as simple as planning, judging, worrying, or just negative. When you label your thoughts, they lose their grip on you. Let's do this now. one thought that bothers you. And begin to question it. Is it always true? What is the evidence behind it? Remind yourself, your thought is not your reality. It is not even true. And now come back to your breath. Staying in the moment through your breath. Let's do this practice again. Find a thought. Label it. Question it. Reminding yourself of the impermanence of thoughts. Let's begin our self-compassion practice. your beautiful heart. And repeating these phrases to yourself. I am safe in this moment. I can observe my thoughts without becoming them. My thoughts are just thoughts, not facts about me or the world. I am the peaceful awareness behind my thoughts. This thought will pass, like all thoughts do. Breathing in and breathing out of your heart. Giving yourself love and compassion. Staying in the moment. Breathing in and breathing out of your heart. Stay with your breath. the thoughts come trailing back in, go back to your breath. And if the thought is disturbing, then follow the steps. Observing your thoughts like clouds in the sky. Some are light and some are dark. But they still pass. And if a thought tries to have power over you, you know what to do. Acknowledge it, label it, and let it go. Breathing in and breathing out, and staying in this moment. and your emotions. This is your power. Staying in the moment through your breath. Showing yourself compassion. And an acknowledgement for how far you've come. In absolute acceptance of this moment and yourself. Thank you for sharing your incredible practice with me today. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes to love, light, and letting go. Namaste. And so the Buddha says that your awakening or your enlightenment is, think of it like a beautiful lotus flower. It, it rises from a swamp. The swamp of your negative thoughts or your disturbing thoughts are not obstacles in your path of living a full life. They're actually the path. If you conquer them, that's how you awaken. So they are there as lessons for you. And so you conquer them one by one, and you rise into your power like a beautiful lotus flower. That is your freedom.
Take it off brush first.
This.
So, as over the time, as I've been kind of working through the practice, I think we all start with like that awareness. The first thing is just to be aware of those thoughts, right? And then to observe those thoughts, and those things have happened over through my practice of meditation. Now I'm looking at these thoughts as think of everything as energy, right? So even if you're confronted with a challenge, or somebody says something to you that may be hurtful, so right, whatever the case is, that's just energy. And if you look at it from that perspective, it's just energy that you attracted. So something in the way you are today is attracting that energy. So it's now I'm looking at those things and more observing not just those thoughts, but like, why are those thoughts happening? What is it that I need to resolve in myself? Like, to take that analogy of the lotus flower, how do I need to rise out of this swamp? So what do I need to change about the way I'm thinking about things to evolve beyond
There you go.
those things? So it's more, now I'm going more from observing it to like more observing more internally. Like
Right.
what do
I need to do?
What do I need to do
Yes.
to and each challenge is there for you.
Yes.
That's what I feel like. It's
It
there for
is.
you to work through whatever
Yes. You're going through
whatever
whatever's
you need to
happening.
resolve, whatever your soul needs to resolve, whatever that is, you're attracting these things in your life.
Yes.
So now if you look at it from that perspective, then it's all trying to figure out, okay, well, what is it that I need to change? And so that's been some of the evolution that I've started to make in just not just observing these thoughts, but more trying to observe why are they here? Why are these
Yes.
challenging events here? So,
Very
nice.
good.
Anyways.
And that is how we evolve. That's
Yeah.
our evolutionary journey. We work with these thoughts, rising from the swamp.
Yeah. I think Nika has something to say too.
Very nice.
Well,
Thank
Nika's
you.
not here.
Thank
Where's
you.
Nika? Nika, say something.
Nika, say something online. Did she?
What did she say? What did Nika say?
Yeah.
She says, beautiful. Although I'm at a track meet, I was able to go within and enjoy this beautiful meditation. Thank you and namaste.
All right.
Namaste.
Oh, short and sweet. The more that you meditate, or the more that I meditate, I find that it's very difficult for people or situations to hurt my feelings. You say something, that's how you feel. It's not how I feel, right? Before you would internalize it, like you were saying, and that effect, but it becomes almost like a shield after you meditate for a length of time. It doesn't matter what the subject is. It doesn't matter if I mess up. I'm very easy to say, well, that didn't work out. That, not me. So there's that slight difference that happens, and it just grows as you meditate more frequently and more
Very
consistently.
good. Very good.
Yeah.
So you're not shooting the second arrow. That's what you're saying. That's
No.
awesome.
It almost, meditation disarms it. Because if somebody says something cruel, I'm thinking,
Okay. That's
that's
you.
not, that's you.
That's
And that's how
you.
you feel.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I agree or even believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Hi, Allison.
Hello. For the meditation today, I had set a goal for myself to try to stay completely still no matter what sensation was happening in my body. But a few minutes into the meditation, a breeze swept across my hair, and my nose was really tickled by the hair. And I had the thought in my head, should I let go of this goal and brush the hair away? Is having a goal that I need to sit still a limited belief? And where did I learn this belief? And is it right for me? Is it not right for me? You know, so my mind started spinning when I was confronted with the feeling of being tickled. And so I made the decision to brush the hair away, and then I was completely cool with it. I didn't, beat myself up
There you
for
go.
for believing that I needed to not do that. So, yeah, it was fun.
Very good,
Thank
Allison.
you. Yeah.
That's great.
Love. Love.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, okay. Just a question from a different perspective. So I understand how arrows, inevitable, negative ones, and I understand how thoughts pass through your mind, whether in clouds, waves, whatever kind of metaphor, and I understand the impermanence. Well, I'm trying to get my arms around it. But I was just wondering, positive thoughts. So those come through your mind too, right? And so can you grasp those? Or are those just as impermanent and you're grasping clouds?
Yeah.
And also on a positive perspective, arrows could be positive arrows. And then
Yes.
can you shoot back a positive
A
arrow,
positive
right?
arrow.
And
Yeah.
so how do we, and it's kind of related, kind of what Parish was saying,
Yes.
cultivate that.
Cultivate.
How do we cultivate or draw more positive arrows
Powerful
and things like that?
emotions.
So
yeah.
anyway, I was just wondering, or are these just impermanent clouds and you don't have control?
Yeah,
They're just thoughts.
based on the Buddhist principle, we have to learn non-attachment, whether it is a negative thought or a positive, because if it is a very positive thought, which is good, it brings craving. You want more of it, more of it. And it is also impermanent. It is also going to go. And so is the negative going to go, and so is the positive going to go. So the craving and the attachment is also suffering, because then when you don't get it, that leads to suffering.
And even our labeling of positive or negative
Yeah,
is just
that-
our label, right?
Yeah, it's just a label. It just allows you some separation from the thought. And it's just really to help you, because we start to believe our thoughts so much, right? So you just, the minute you say, oh, here is a thought about failure that's arising in me. And the minute you put the label, you know that you don't have to get involved in that storytelling. That is the second arrow. So
So like equanimity, there's no positive
staying
or
in the
negative.
center.
But if someone says, you're awesome,
yeah, it's that's
kind
good.
of positive.
That's
I was
very
looking,
good.
I was looking past you. But Biba's awesome, I was saying.
Yeah, staying centered through it all. It
But
doesn't.
then you just kind of stay
staying
level through
centered.
it all, right?
Staying
Okay.
centered.
Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense. All right. Sorry.
But that's such a great question. I like it. Yeah. And I really like the simplicity of your answer, by the way. Should I stay still or should I move? What is it? Is it a limiting? I love the way you questioned your own thought, and you decided, you know what? I'm not going to get stuck in something and maybe spoil my practice, if that's the right word. I'm just going to take care of the hair. And yes, the simplicity is so amazing. I love that answer, actually. I'm going to remember it, because I do put some of these goals on myself when I meditate, that I'm going to stay still no matter what. It's just a sensation. It's going to pass. But sometimes we just need to do what is most practical in the moment. And that's what you did. Yeah, very nice.
I think I'm leaving here today with the word of impermanence, thank you. I had it in my mind a second ago, like really resonated with me.
Yes.
It just like, I don't know, like it just
Yes.
really resonated in
This
such
too
a good
shall
way.
pass. This too shall pass. It's not going to stay forever.
Well, I mean, just even in the simple example you gave, right? Like to have the agility in the moment to say, like, this isn't really working. Like, what am I committed to? But I don't know. Like, I think
Yeah.
it speaks volumes to us being able to continue to move positively forward.
Very nice, Linda. Yeah. And I really liked what, Linda, you said about the second arrow, the storytelling. You actually gave the perfect definition for it. It's the storytelling that is a problem.
Girl, I know. I've been there.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
And I could say the Tony's
Huh?
story is
Okay.
that
Yes.
she's
Go ahead.
talking about assumption. You know, people do assumption a lot.
Yes.
They make assumption. I mean, I was talking with my colleague. Don't make assumption to the other person.
Yes.
Stop it here. You know, let it go. Bypass it. So I mean, go around it. Don't harm yourself. And I feel that reflection from my other colleague. And I think I was upset one day. I swear, I usually don't swear. When I swear, then I came back to myself. I laugh about it, and then I approach that person, and I give, we talk, we give a hug, and that was it.
Good. You handled it well. There is a comment in the online. David, do you want to speak?
Yeah, so Tanika says, when I have a negative thought, I ask myself, is that really true? And after going deep within, the answer is usually no.
Yeah, that's right. So remember 3 steps, right? Label it, acknowledge it, label it, question it, and remind yourself it's impermanent, and give yourself self-compassion. That's an important step. Don't forget that, because otherwise you will shoot the second arrow. So that's how so yes, is it true? Is it absolutely true? Question it.
Oh, here you go.
Here, take the mic because people online can hear it.
It made me think of something. Comedy or humor is a very effective tool, especially when you mess up. So, for instance, let's say I completely butcher something. I know I did a horrible job, but you know what I say? Well, B, you went above and beyond on this one, or something like that. It just reminds me it's not that serious.
Good.
Yeah, it's
I
just
love
it's just something to
that.
counteract that thought of inadequacy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say it's like financial. A good thing I'm rich in other ways. You know what I mean? Like I'll go through this. It's just self-talk that I do that makes me realize, Biba, slow down. It's okay.
That's
And that works for me.
excellent.
So just a thought.
That's great advice, you guys. If we take one thing from today's meditation, that should also be it.
It's not that
Keep it
serious.
light.
It's just
Keep
not.
it light.
You know?
Very nice. Very nice. Anyway, so should we say goodbye to folks online? Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Nothing's permanent. You know what I mean?
Nothing is been.
I mess up everything, so I use that a lot.
Oh, I went above and beyond. I'm gonna say.
If I break someone, I'm like, whoa.